Hey, boys and girls, how are you doing today? I'm going to try it, see if it makes it a little bigger, easier to see if I do it this way. I'm using my Chromebook because sometimes with the other way, the screen becomes kind of small during the actual video. So we're going to just be doing some conversions today. Really, they're equivalents of either decimals or fractions. And really, it's another day where we're not actually doing any adding or subtracting. It's really just taking the numbers that are there and changing them around a little bit. And I'll kind of show you what I mean by that. Like one whole is going to equal 10 tenths or 10 dimes. One whole will also equal 100 pennies. And then one dime equals 10 pennies. Those are really our important conversions for today. And I tried to put that in the different areas where you needed it. So again, if we have three ones, or again, $3, they're basically asking you how many dimes is that? If one equals 10, again, if I'm thinking about money, I can also call that 3.0. And that's really mostly what you're going to be doing today. It's just changing what's already there. And then I'm really just getting rid of this decimal point in the middle. And then there's my answer. My answer is 30. And we're going to be doing a form today. And then again, the answer box, they would just want the number 30. $3, each of these could become 10 dimes. And it's really just 3 times 10, which makes 30. I think of it this way. It's really just getting rid of that decimal point in between. This would be a similar idea, and this would be the part of the chart I would use for this one. Okay? Every dime or every tenth equals 10 hundredths. What that means, again, if I have 3 dimes, that's really the same as having 30 cents. Again, really, that's just going to be my answer here. And I have no hundredths, I know, but again, if I'm thinking about that in terms of an equivalent fraction, it's that 30 out of 100 that I'm missing. So that would be my answer there. The answer would just be, in the box, I would just put the number 30. So when you remember, every one whole you have equals 10 tenths. So again, another example. Now I just have 2 ones, or $2, and 3 tenths, like 3 dimes. Again, I know this looks complicated. This one looks a little trickier. Again, my answer is right here. And we're just going to get rid of that decimal point. We would have 23 dimes would be that same amount. Okay, so again, when I had my answer box, we would just put in the number 23. The 2 ones become 20, and the 3 tenths become, or just stay 3. It's just 20 plus 3. I was kind of joking in my head when I was thinking about this. It's almost like 3 is the number of the day today. Seems to be doing a lot with the number 3. So this is our same idea from before. Now we have 3 tenths and 3 hundredths. If you remember again from our chart, every tenth equals 10 hundredths. You know, I tried to put those 3 little parts in each of the little things that you have to kind of convert or to use. And it's kind of part of what's called our base 10 system. It's right based on the fact that we have 10 fingers. Right? You count 10 pennies, it makes 1 more dime. And then 10 more makes 2 dimes, 20 cents. And then 10 more pennies, 30 cents, 3 dimes, and so on. And then again, 10 dimes makes a whole dollar, 20 dimes, $2, 30 dimes, $3, and so on. It's the same idea in our base 10 system. And that's really what happens here again. We're really just combining these together. And that becomes our answer. We now have 33 pennies. Is an equivalent of 3 dimes and 3 pennies. So it's just kind of thinking that part through. So I try to make it a little bit bigger to see if it would help you guys to see it better. And we have our kind of conversion chart here. Now, every whole dollar, the answer here would just be 10. 1 whole becomes 10 tenths. So 1 and 3 tenths, or 1.3, would become 13. And you can think of 1 as 1.0, and then we get rid of that decimal. Same thing happens with 1 and 3 tenths, or 1.3. So 10 and 3 tenths becomes 103. Right? 2 then becomes 20. Same pattern. 2 and 6/10 becomes 26. 20 and 6/10 or 20.6 becomes 206. A lot of you hopefully can look at that and say, oh, that's what you want me to do. That's the pattern. And then the same idea happens when we're in hundredths. Now, instead of just kind of basically putting 1 0 on or moving it one space over, we're now just going to move it 2. Right? We can sometimes write $1 as 1.00. It's going to be that same number, but without the decimal point. Yeah. So if you're thinking in terms of hundredths, it's going to be hard to squeeze it in this little box, but it would be 100. 1.3 or 1 3/10 would be 130. Really just moving that decimal over 2 spots. That's really what I kind of did there. 10 and 3/10 would then be 1,030. See, I'm just basically adding a 0 on the end and then moving the decimal over 2 spots. Same thing would happen here. 2 whole dollars is like 200 pennies. $2.60 is 260 pennies. So you don't have to pay attention if it's asking you for dimes, which again would have the word tenths, or pennies, which would have the word hundredths. I always talk with my class about sounding like a snake there at the end. Tenths and hundredths. And same thing for this. This would be 2,060. Again, hopefully you can see that pattern. And then these are just those different forms of the same thing. Again, how can I write it as first a decimal, a mixed number, out of tenths, or out of hundredths? So now this is kind of going the other way. Right? So now 5.3 or 5 3/10, that's how we write it as a mixed number. Remember, if you're writing that on a form, you do 5 space 3/10. Leave that space in between the whole number of 5 and the top number of 3. And then over here, kind of like we were doing the other way, but backwards, you're just going to then combine those together. 53/10. Again, if you were putting that into the form, 53/10. Then out of a hundredths, same idea. Now it's just 530 hundredths. Again, it takes 100 pennies to make $1. So $5 is 500 pennies. Again, I don't know if I'll have room for that, but I'll try to put that there. That's how you would put it on the form today. Same idea for 9 7/10. Again, you can hear it when you say it, or you just remember one spot means 1 0. So I know I'm out of 10. Or again, I put that as, wrong way. Whole number 9, space 7/10. Which again, I could also call 97. What am I doing? Thinking ahead. I was looking at the 53. You can also call that 97/10 or 970 hundredths. All right, and that's kind of our basic idea for today. Just kind of, again, you're not really, it's the same number. Give you a different color. Right? It's 5 3. 5 3, 53, 530. 9 7, 9 7, 9 7, 97, 970. Just converting back and forth between those different parts.